How many books should I read for the month of July?
Well, I read 8. Disclaimer, I did discover reverse harems back in June, so a lot of them would have this theme, so don't judge me. The first one is this novella, part of a bigger series by Raven Kennedy. It follows a Cupid who can't be seen or heard or touch or be touched or anything. When she goes into the Fae realm, she finds a way to get physical, where she meets 3 guys. It is a fantasy reverse harem with a really funny, quirky, and independent main character. The novella is set several years after the main story, and I gave it a 3 because it was adorable. I also read the 4th book of that same series, but it does not follow the original character. It follows a side character that you do meet in the original story. It's not a reverse harem, it is just a fantasy love story, and it was adorable, and I love the characters from the original storyline, so I'm so glad that they got their own story. I gave it a 4. I read this series by Casey Keen. I thought it was fantasy because I kept talking about bloodlines and having to go to this school to follow the family bloodlines. It's not. It's like a mafia-esque type story. Now, I did enjoy the story. I thought it was well written. Concept was original. What I didn't like about it, though, was that they were all 18. And it is a reverse harem. So essentially, all her and the other 4 guys, they're all 18. In fact, she was 17 when the story started and turned 18 at the end of that first chapter. And it's very weird to read about like intimate scenes and like badass fighting scenes when they're all 18. For this first book, I was able to do that thing where you just sort of pretend that you never read their ages, and I was able to age them up and enjoy the story more, and so I gave it a 3 stars. Unfortunately, I couldn't do that for the second story. I kept getting reminded of their ages, and it made, again, reading the intimate scenes and the fight scenes and the way that they interacted with the other adults and the adults interacted with them, it made it really awkward and weird, so I gave it a 2 stars. Same with the 3rd book, and there is a 4th book that follows another character. I think I would like that better because they're a little bit older, but I kind of needed a break from the story, so I didn't read it. Dragon Found by Sam Hall is another reverse harem fantasy. I thought the protagonist was really well written. She was very strong, independent, but still had a lot of flaws. Her relationship and connection with her dragon was very cute. The concept was great. The guys were all very interesting. Give it a 4. Unfortunately, I lost a little interest in the second book, and I think it's mostly because the story started focusing on her relationship with 2 of the guys, and the other ones just felt like decorations. A lot of the flaws that the other guys had just started becoming amplified for me, and it started becoming more annoying to read her with these guys and their relationships. I give it a 3. Saving the best for last, it's the 4th book of the series A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. This is A Court of Silver Flames. It follows Nesta's story, who is my favorite character. And the thing about it is, I devoured A Court of Thorns and Roses. I devoured the first 3 books in the novella like crazy, but for some reason I think I knew that I needed to be thoroughly mentally prepared to read Nesta's story, and I think that's why I waited so long to read it, because I just think that mentally I wasn't there yet. But I am so glad that I finally got there. I read this book so quickly. I think Sarah J. Maas does a great job about writing characters who are traumatized, and Nesta is definitely traumatized. I related to her a lot, which was very weird. Absolutely loved it, and I can't wait to read the next one, and I recommend this so much. It is a romance fantasy. If you like that, please read the entire series. It is right there. See? And I gave this a 5 stars. Out of all the books that I read this month, this one was definitely my favorite. Now let's see, how many books should I read for the month of August? 6 again. Okay, yeah. Okay, sure.